Bit of a Yorkshire feel to this week's video after the success of two young tykes for England and the fact that Yorkshire's most famous son is celebrating an anniversary.
Bowled in.
Joe Root was deservedly named man of the match at Lord's for his excellent double hundred, the first double by an England batsman since Ian Bell made 235 at the Oval 3 years ago. A real feature of his innings was the shots through the leg side. You can see lots of ones and twos through the mid-wicket region, clips and nurdles and little pushes. In fact, 143 of those 200 runs were scored in the leg side area, just getting back across and onto his stumps and turning balls like this, clipping them, working them, also even deflecting them really quite fine down the leg side. Not many shots down the ground, straight drives and off drives, but that's partly because the Sri Lankans didn't bowl all that full to him. Gary Ballance's second innings 100 against Sri Lanka was a remarkably mature innings for one in his second test. It was dominated by a lot of cut shots, square of the wicket and just behind square. He is predominantly a back foot player, but he has a range of cut shots from the little dad, played very late against the spinner, to the full-blooded square cut as well, hit in front of square. What was also really impressive about his innings was the tempo of it. The momentum increased as he got close to his maiden test 100. It was appropriate that two Yorkshiremen did so well in the Lord's Test because it was exactly 50 years to the week since Geoff Boycott made his Test debut, and I asked him what he remembered of that day back in June 1964.
It rained after about an hour. I was 23 not out, and they didn't call the match off in those days until it was totally unplayable, which was about tea time. So you came back next day on the famous uncovered pitches, wet through, and I broke my finger when I was batting. Mackenzie hit me, and I finished up making 48, but I was caught by Simpson, an absolute blinder of a catch I remember. It went to Redpath's left hand at second slip, he missed it low down, and Simpson caught it behind Redpath's hand, and I had to sign that for ages because it was on the front cover of the Cricketer.
Well, you may or may not know that Boycott went on to become for a time the world's leading test run scorer with 8,114 test runs, and he also scored more than 48,000 first class runs as well. So what I really wanted to know was what was the ingredient, what was the quality that enabled him to become such a phenomenal run maker.
I think a really strong desire. I actually passionately loved the game. Didn't treat it as a job or anything. I absolutely loved it. Didn't make much money then. I mean, today most of the top players are millionaires, but we just absolutely loved it. But I had a passion for it, and I was always interested in, by being in love, I was interested in the great players, how they played. I was interested in the history, the tradition, and I always wanted to improve. I was always asking, watching. I mean, I never laid down in the dressing room when I was out and just did nothing. I watched the other people play, I watched the other great players.
He might have had a reputation as a slow scorer, but Boycott actually had a fantastic array of shots. Here's just a couple. A ferocious pull shot. Look at the hand speed as he puts away a West Indian fast bowler to the deep square leg boundary. And also this sublime off drive. Perfect footwork. Of course, he wasn't without his flaws. Well, what batsman is? And here's an interesting example. The West Indies setting a trap for him, the last ball of a day's play, putting a man out on the hook shot, bowling the bouncer, and he accepted the bait and hit it straight down his throat. That would be his definition of a stupid shot. But he didn't deserve this level of jostling and abuse as he walked off. Boycott's record-breaking batting, his fantastic eye for detail and his passion for the game has given him a fabulous second career as a commentator, and of course he just loves to talk. In fact, he'll give you advice on anything, even how to wake up in the morning.
Up in the morning, what do? You get out of bed properly, and that means all the way out of it. Get right out of the bed. No half measures, you must get your whole body out of the bed, right out from under the sheets, right off the mattress until you're standing up. You won't get anywhere slouching about half out of bed. Do you seriously think the people here wouldn't notice if you were only half out of the bed? Come on, wise up. Did I walk out to bat when I was half asleep or half out of bed? Of course not. I bloody well didn't.